Welcome to Winners, Wallets, and Worldviews, the only show that's going to teach you
how to be somebody.
Where in your life did you learn that you're not good enough?
Take what you're most passionate about and what you're most fearful of, and what is the plan to overcome that fear, and what is the plan to enact that passion.
Hi, welcome to Winners, Wallets, and Worldviews. I am your host, AJ Armstrong. You can follow me on Instagram at AaronArmstrong33. That's AaronArmstrong33, or you can go to my website at AaronJArmstrong.com. Today, folks, this one is for men. And if you're a woman listening to this, listen to this and then provide it to your husband, provide it to your boyfriend, provide it to your brother. Any man that needs to hear this one is for the boys. And I encourage women to listen to this for a very good understanding of how men think, how they should think, and how you want them to think. Now, here's what I'm going to talk about. I'll give you an example. This morning, or today, let's say, today, a guy reached out to me. And he had been following this podcast since episode 1, since I actually released it. And he said to me, he's like, I've listened to every single one of your episodes. I've done every single thing you've said to do in these episodes. And he's like, I have just noticed monumental changes in my life. And he's like, every time someone says, what's your podcast? What's the next podcast? What's the next podcast? I give him your podcast. That's what he said to me today. In fact, a couple days ago, this guy sent me some messages on Instagram. And he said, look, I said some stuff. I messed up with my girlfriend. And he asked me, what should I do? What do I do? He said, I said some things that I didn't mean, and I messed up. He's like, I feel terrible. I feel like nothing. And I could just, by the words he was describing, I could just watch. I could just feel how his shoulders were just starting to slouch, how his back was starting to curve, how he was starting to look down, how he was starting to fall into this feeling that a lot of men get when they're talking to their girlfriends or their wives and they do something, they get in a fight, and here's what's going on. And the advice I gave him, my wife actually told me, was probably the worst advice she's ever heard to give to a guy. And when he responded, he says, look, and I'll tell you what this advice is in a second. When I responded to him on what he should do, he said he went and did it. And he said his relationship was fixed. He said it started to turn into something more powerful and more meaningful. And here's what I told him to do. Number 1, I said, stop being a fucking pussy. Yes, stop being a fucking pussy about it. That's what I told him. So number 1, you're in charge. You're always in charge. You're always in charge of your own life. You got to take responsibility for your own life. No matter what. Take responsibility, number 1, for whatever you said, whatever you did. And then you take responsibility. If you didn't mean it, you say you didn't mean it. If you did mean it, you say you did mean it. It doesn't matter. You're direct. Be as direct and transparent as possible. Throw your shoulders back and put your chest up no matter what. Throw your shoulders back, put your chest up no matter what, because you're a fucking man. And it's time to own your freaking manliness. It's time to own your masculinity. So many people give up on their freaking masculinity because the world is telling them all sorts of different things. They're not listening to their soul. Within each one of us, we have a beast. We have a beast within each one of us, and we got to get that out. And when the beast gets out of control, we've got to tame it. And you know what that balance is called? That's called the gentleman. The gentleman is a beast that's tamed. That is a gentleman. A beast is just rude. And something on the other side, that's just a huge pussy. You want to be the gentleman. That's what I'm talking about today. So here's what I told him. I said, throw your shoulders back, be direct, tell her you love her, tell her you care about her, tell her you're doing this, but own it. And do it with direction and conviction and discipline, and focus. That's what you want to do. Speaking of pussy, we got Lola in the house tonight. So if you guys want to be a pussy, look at Lola. Anyway, this is what I'm talking about today, folks. It's talking about how do you become an alpha male? How do you become an alpha male? And if you're a woman listening to this, you can take a lot of lessons from this as well. But here's the goal, right? You know what an alpha is? An alpha is somebody that climbs the hierarchy. They climb the hierarchy. We live in a hierarchy of status, whether you like it or whether you don't. The world is not equal. If you want the world to be equal, that's fine, but it's not. That's the reality. That is the reality. So here's what we need to do. We need to be able to win in a world that is unequal. You need to be able to climb the status hierarchies. So what are they? It could be your career. It could be your family. It could be the government ladder. I mean, there's hierarchies throughout this entire system. But what you want to do is you want to be able to climb those. You climb those by being a leader. You lead by being in charge, by being strong, by being focused, by having a course that you want to drive to. So I have a lot of different friends. Now that I've started to reach out with different people and study people so differently, and having male clients and female clients, and just how much different they can be in what they value, is so fascinating to me. And here's what I'm starting to find. I'm starting to find out that there's a whole bunch of men out there that allow their girlfriends or their wives to rule their lives. To rule their lives. They say that. So the man likes to sit there, play video games, and his girlfriend and his wife will complain and they'll whine and they'll say whatever they want to this guy playing video games. And they're like, this is not what you are meant to be, is what they're saying in their soul, but it comes out as complaining. Or what men like to say back to women like this, they say they're bitching. But here's what's going on. Is the woman's not being satisfied because the man's being a fucking loser. That's what's going on. So wake the fuck up out there, guys. Seriously. If you're going to sit on your ass and play video games and you're going to jerk off and you're going to watch porn and you're going to do all these other things that are not serving you, wake the fuck up. Go out there and be a man. Be a gentleman. Groom yourself. Own your freaking story. Own your journey. Guys, this is what's called the man mission. Go on a fucking journey. Watch your freaking woman just completely change her life around you and love it. And just love when you freaking bring home energy, intensity into your relationship. I'm serious, guys. This is something that you need to start thinking about. Because the reason your woman is bitching at you or is unhappy with you or likes to complain to you is because she's trying to fulfill a masculine role that you're not filling. You need to fulfill that role. You need to be the fucking alpha. You need to be the leader in your relationship. That's what God says, right? He says, men, love your wives. And he says, wives, respect your husbands. Men, love your wives. Wives, respect your husbands. How do you get respect from your wife? You get respect from your wife by being respectable. What is somebody that's respectable? A respectable leader. Someone with charisma. Someone with confidence. Someone with a plan. How many of you guys have gone out there and you've tried to talk to your wife, your girlfriend, or if you're not dating somebody, if you ever tried to go on a date with someone and say, look, I don't have a plan. We're just going to see what happens. No girl will be turned on by that. No woman will find that attractive. But if you just sweep her off her feet and say, we're going, let's go with a plan. I got it figured out. Don't worry about it. Everything's already settled. Ba-boom. That's what they want. You know what they're lacking? They're lacking a man with a plan. So get a fucking plan together, guys. And this, I'm serious. I'm telling you right now, get a plan together. Because that plan is going to turn into your purpose. Your purpose is going to be the most satisfying thing you can bring to the world and you can bring to your relationship. So this one's for the men. I'm telling you guys, wake up. Wake up. You are so much more than whatever the hell the world has been telling you. You are so much more than whatever job you're settling for. Than to just look forward to coming home so you can play video games for the next 4 hours, then you can go to bed at midnight, wake up tired and bitch about it all day about how much you hate your job, and then do it all again the next day, and then just drink your ass off all weekend. Stop doing that shit. That's not what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. You need to have a plan. You need to have a journey. You need to go on the journey. You need to grow some fucking nuts and go on an adventure. That's what you need to do, because that is what's going to revive your soul. And you're going to start going on your man mission. I'm telling you guys, just watch how turned on your women get when that happens. When you have a plan and you know it. It doesn't matter what it is. You just got to have one. You got to have one. You got to be doing it from a higher place. You got to be doing it from God's will. That's what I'm talking about, guys. So be an alpha male so you can start to climb up that hierarchy, so you can show leadership. Women are attracted to a leader of men. To a leader of men. So learn how to be a gentleman. Learn how to respect women. Learn how to love women. So we said before, right? It says in the Bible, love your wives, women, respect your husbands. So men, love your wife. What does she want? Here's what happens. When she starts bitching, what do you guys do? Right? And I say bitching in quotes because this is really her just being unsatisfied with you being a fucking pussy. That's really what's going on. But I'm saying, Here's what's going on. You're not loving her. You're not showing you care. You're not putting energy in. Love is a verb. It's not a feeling. It is a verb. It's something you have to do. It is something you have to physically do. And doing things consists of energy. That means you have to get off your ass and you have to go love your wife. When John C. Maxwell was talking about when he used to do some of his coaching, relationship coaching and consulting back when he was a pastor, he said, a man comes in and he wanted to get a divorce. And he says to John, he says, I don't love my wife anymore. And John looks back at him and says, well, I've got the answer for you. He's like, you need to love your wife. He says, but I don't love her anymore. He's like, no, you need to love your wife. You need to do it. It's an action. It's not an option. It's not a feeling. We're accustomed to thinking that love is this feeling that you get. It's just this thing that it's like a magnet of attraction. It's just like hunger. It just comes and goes. It's just whatever. But that's not what it is. It's not a feeling. It's not a feeling. It's actually a verb, and you got to go do it. So guys, here's what I'm telling you to do right now. Here's what I'm telling you to do. Get off your ass. Get a plan together. Get a plan together and do it with focus. Do it with conviction. Do it with confidence. What happened to your confidence? Are you letting other people tell you that you're not good enough? Are you listening to other people? Are you falling into the death trap of society, settling already in your mid 20s to mid 30s? Are you already stopping being a fucking man? Go on your journey, guys. Stop doing the mundane shit that has prevented you from being the man that you can become. Because it's time to wake the fuck up. It's time to throw your shoulders back, put your chest out, and start to walk through this world with deep breaths and go out there and be somebody. Because that's what you're meant to do, guys. That's what you're meant to do. Having an affair. How many men have done that? Cheating on their wives. Why are they doing that? What is wrong with them? There's something going on in the head of a person that's doing that. The reason is because any man that climbs up the status of the hierarchy has more opportunity to mate with other women. This is psychologically inevitable. So what makes a gentleman is the ability to not do that, right? That's what a gentleman is. Everybody, if they were Tiger Woods, most men would be like Tiger Woods if they would have the option to sleep with multiple women. Most rock stars sleep with multiple women. Lots of people do that. You know what makes the gentleman? Is the ability to not do that. The ability to have the option, but they don't. You know why? Because they love their wife. Because they force their energy into their wife so much that the love is there. That's what it is. And that's the difference. So what's going on with you? What is it? Talk to me. Think about it. Think about it right now. Take 1 second and ask yourself, what am I doing? What am I doing? Because guys, if you went back and listened to all my podcasts and you start doing it every single day, you'll end up like the guy I just talked to on the phone. Your whole life will start to change. Your whole world will start to turn around. You'll start to have so much more confidence in what you do. And you might think, yeah, I got a lot of confidence. You do? How's your paycheck? Well, my paycheck's okay. It's okay. Is it great? No, you don't have a lot of confidence then. Because if you had a shitload of confidence, your paycheck would go through the roof. If you had a shitload of confidence, your relationship would be incredible. Your wife would be turned on, would just love you. Just looking at you, she would be turned on when you have that kind of confidence. So you don't have confidence. In fact, the fact that you think you have confidence right now means you don't have any because you're covering it up. I'm telling you guys, there's so much you can do in this world if you guys just wake up. If you guys just wake up. If you're 25 years old right now, you got out of college and you're just sitting there in your new job, you don't like it, whatever. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to take responsibility back to yourself? Are you going to take that power back? Or are you just going to let the world deal you the cards that you get dealt? I don't like that option. When I was in the military, one of our, we had a speaker. He was actually I think a 3-star general. And he came out and he said, There's no such thing as bad weather. There's just bad gear. There's no such thing as bad weather. There's just bad gear. People think in their lives that whatever happens to them is the fault of the circumstances of life. When in reality, it's they didn't have the proper tools, the proper knowledge, skills, and attributes to go face those things. That's what I'm talking about. It's not the weather, it's the gear. In winter, it will snow. In summer, it's going to be hot. In the fall, there will be leaves. So what are you going to do to face that? Are you going to put on a jacket? That's a skill. That's knowledge. That's an attribute. What are you going to do? Are you going to go read a book to learn something? Are you going to go Google something to learn it? Are you going to get a certification? Are you going to further your education? Are you going to take a seminar or a course? Are you going to hire a coach? Are you going to go seek mentors? What are you going to do? What is your next step? Because if you have those skills, if you have that knowledge, and you have those attributes, it doesn't matter what the damn weather is, because you will be unstoppable. Because they make Gore-Tex now. It's great. It's breathable, and the beads up on there in the rain. Gore-Tex. It's a killer, man. And that's knowledge, skills, and attributes. That's what you guys need. You can't wait for life to just start shifting in your favor, and you start telling yourself this story that it's a game of luck. You got to start to take the responsibility and power back and say, I can do whatever the hell I want to do because I've got a plan, because I've thought about it, because I've learned enough about it, because I'm studying it, because I'm ready for it. And that's where you want to go. You want to be so freaking ready for it. You want to be ready for life. You want to wake up every morning like, we are going to fucking go, baby. That's what you want. That is what you want. So if you're sitting here today and you want to just be average, who are you letting down by being average? Are you letting down your girlfriend, your wife? If you're single, why are you single? You're obviously not doing something that's desirable enough to be an attracted mate. What is going on? In the game of attraction, you want to be attractive. What makes you attractive? Most species will mate and they take up space. You know why they take up space? Because it's a sign of assertion and dominance. You know what happens when you throw your shoulders back and your chest up? You come across with higher levels of serotonin. So you not only subconsciously tell yourself that you're more confident, but other people perceive you as more confident. That's why power posing in interviews tends to do very well. That's why posing on stage or using big spaces tends to do very well. That's a serotonin relationship with your body. The same thing happens every single day with what you do, how you carry yourself, how focused you are. If you are in a rush, if you're going somewhere, you're on a mission, you are on a purpose. That's one of the most incredible things you can do for your mission, because you're going to get there faster, you're going to go stronger. So this one's for you guys today. I want you to hear this because this is something that I know needs to be heard. It needs to be heard. There's so many women out there that they're living their lives with subpar men. And whose problem is that? That's the fucking men, because you're letting down your wife, your girlfriend, your children. You know how many men I know that give up their lives because they're children? And you know how many men are going to get a pat on the back because, oh my gosh, you're a family man now. It's totally okay to stop your dreams and just take your kid to soccer practice every weekend. That's totally acceptable. That's okay. Give up on your dreams, guy. It's okay. That's fine. You're going to get that. You're going to get that pat on the back, but I'm not going to give that shit to you because it's your man mission. When the gold is west, you head west. You bring your kids with you in the covered wagon and you go, and the kids follow, and they love it because they can respect the leader, right? Think back to high school, right? How many of us had the friend that had the super strict parents? Like, I'm saying super strict parents. They went to church. They went every single Sunday. There was no boys allowed in this house. I mean, that kind of parent, right? How many people know that parent? And what did that kid always do in high school? Those are the ones sneaking out. Those are the ones smoking weed. Those are the ones drinking when they're 14 years old. They had the super strict parents, though. How does that work? Well, let's do the flip side. What about the parents that were like super, super laid back, super chill, didn't care? Well, those are the kids that are still smoking weed and still drinking too. Well, what about the kids that were really straight in high school, that ended up going out to be successful, that ended up going on to be somebody, that ended up becoming super successful in their lives? What were their parents like? You know what their parents were like? Their parents were very respected by their children. They were respected. And that's not a thing that you force. Any leader can't force respect onto somebody. Respect is something that's earned, typically by something you've done, something that you've proven, something that shows that you've done something incredible. So if you want to go be the father that you're meant to be, or be the husband or the boyfriend or whatever, or the leader that you're meant to be, go do something incredible. Go change the world and be respected, because that's going to transform everybody that follows you, including your kids, your family, your followers, whatever that is. They're going to respect you when you can do something that's challenging, that's daring, that you can overcome and you can provide value behind. You can be a legend. And that's how you're going to have stronger children, stronger relationships, a stronger family. And that's my belief in my core. If you want to have kids that are straight, that are doing the right thing, they're going to want to respect their father. They're going to want to say, my dad did some really cool stuff. That's what they want. So if you want to sit there and say, hey, I'm done chasing my dreams, I'm done doing my passion because I got kids now and I got to go to soccer practice, you're going to get lots of pats on the back. Lots of people are going to say that's fine. But are those the right people too? Are those the people that you want in your life trying to encourage you to fulfill your God-given talent? And I'm not going to tell you that that's not your mission, because you could be the Joseph of the world. Joseph's only job was to make sure that Jesus was good. It's like, Joseph, you got one job, man. This kid is going to be the Messiah. Don't mess this up, right? You might be the Joseph, and that's fine. But here's what I challenge you to do. I challenge you to seek your purpose from a place of love. Seek your purpose from a place of love and see what that is. See where that comes out to be. Because this is something that I think every man needs to hear. And for you ladies listening to this, I encourage you to share this with your boyfriends, share this with your husbands, because I think they need to hear it. It's something that's so deeply powerful when you think about it. And it's one simple thing. If we could summarize this whole conversation into one simple word, it's responsibility. Take responsibility for your life. Take responsibility for your life. All the good, all the bad, everything that's yet to come. Take that ownership. And now you're in charge. Now you can drive. Now you can finally go on your journey and your mission. That's what you want to do. That's the power. That's the power that you all have within you. And that's what being an alpha male really is. It's about taming the beast. But if you're not a beast yet, and you're still like Lola, just little kitten, just little Lola kitten that meows on my microphone and messes up my podcast every day, if that's what you are, we got to wake the beast up. Now, you guys might be listening to this and say, I'm already a beast, motherfucker. It's like, okay, we got to tame you back, man. We got to learn some gentlemen. We got to polish you off a little bit, all right? And that's the art of being a gentleman. And I'm not perfect by any means. Shit, my wife, look at her. She's looking at me all the time saying, hey, it's a little too tight now. Oh, hey, beast yourself up, guy. You know, she's always trying to get me to work in that direction. But that's the balance. Like I always talk to you guys, I have a very Aristotle viewpoint on virtues. There's always an extreme, and there's always a balance, and that's where the virtue lies. So you can be the beast. You can be the pussy. But I'm here to tell you, be the gentleman you're meant to be. Be the alpha. Lead something. Lead your family. Don't let your kids lead you. Lead your family. Lead it. Lead your business. Lead people that directly report to you in your job. Lead people if you're in the military. Lead people if nobody reports to you, nobody has any formal influence over you, but just being influential. But you gotta lead. You gotta lead, and you gotta climb that hierarchy. Because when we can get the most competent, ethical, incredible, transformational people towards the top of these hierarchies, that's what's really going to start to change the world. And if you think you're meant to change the world, which God put you here to do something. Then let's do it together. So once again, guys, my name's Aaron Armstrong. You can follow me on Instagram at AaronArmstrong33, or you can go to my website at aaronjarmstrong.com. And like I said, guys, please, if you enjoyed this, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this, subscribe to my iTunes. More people need to hear this kind of stuff. More people need to wake the fuck up. More people need to have what it takes to make a difference, to make a change, to show the world that it doesn't have to be this way, but we can create whatever we need to create. I believe that, guys. I believe that with all my heart and all my soul. And I think that a lot of women out there would be much more satisfied with their partners if they decide to wake the fuck up and do something incredible with their lives. So let me know what you think. Leave some comments if you guys disagree. If you guys agree, share this with as many people as you can. So thanks a lot, guys. Once again, go to aaronjarmstrong.com, and you can always connect with me if you send DMs to my social media platforms. Thanks a lot, guys.